We assume we observe the world exactly as it is, but reality is actually a chaotic blur of everything happening everywhere, all at once. We never experience that totality. Human life is actually confined to what you could call microscenes, tiny, disconnected pockets of physical space where our immediate daily actions play out. Within these pockets, we hit a hard epistemological barrier, time. The events of the past and the realities of the future are completely locked away from our immediate physical senses. At birth, this physical confinement is total. A child processes the world with perfect innocence. They look at their environment entirely and literally through their tiny two eyes. If human vision starts this fragmented and isolated, we are left with a massive mechanical question. How do millions of disconnected observers manage to share one functional, coherent society without it collapsing? The individual survives the chaos of these microscenes using a specific structural mechanism: time. Time functions as a literal thread, taking scattered pockets of life and stitching them into a coherent sequence. But this mechanism has a limit. It weaves a timeline for one person, but fails to connect to anyone else's. The thread of time makes individual survival possible, but to build a society, millions of parallel, isolated threads are entirely insufficient. As we age, the transition out of childhood brings biological shifts, hormones that redirect our attention. We stop looking at objects simply for what they are and start seeing them through the lens of our own developing desires and social needs. Then we encounter our first layer of environmental complexity. We enter college and higher education, absorbing dense academic frameworks that we are trained to overlay onto physical reality. We are introduced to abstract rules, often through religious stories, that demand we see and accept truths completely devoid of immediate physical evidence. We learn the architecture of society through hierarchy books, the unspoken rules of status, class, and power dynamics that dictate who ranks where. This creates a sensory breaking point. Those tiny two physical eyes we relied on as children are biologically incapable of seeing a power dynamic or an abstract cultural myth. They only process light and shape. The physical tiny two eyes remain, but they can no longer navigate this world alone. They are insufficient for a reality defined by invisible rules and abstract structures. The mechanism that replaces our innocent sight is the second thread: belief. Structurally, belief works exactly like time. However, instead of stitching moments together, belief stitches individual people together. It ends the isolation of the microscene. Disparate minds are pulled into a shared focal point of mutual agreement. This creates a strong gathering. Belief is the specific tool that takes a scattered crowd of disconnected individuals and manufactures a shared, functioning societal reality. Internalizing these beliefs forces a change in how we prioritize information. Our primary method of perception begins to shift. The physical eyes take a back seat. While they continue to gather data, they are no longer the final authority on what that data means. The brain takes over the heavy lifting of seeing. It intercepts the raw physical data and forces it through the dense filters we've spent our lives building: the religious stories, the academic frameworks, and the social hierarchies. Because of this constant, heavy filtering, the brain stops merely recording information and starts inventing its own vision. It transforms into the single big eye. This single eye interprets the raw, physical world through a specific lens, requiring us to prioritize the psychological reality mandated by the group over the light hitting our retinas. An adult's worldview is a composite. It is the raw data of the microscene, filtered and reshaped by the collective mind of the society that taught us how to see.